Hello, I'm Kathy from Vincent Music, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on Erik Satie's Gnossienne number 3. He wrote it in about 1893 as part of a group of 3 Gnossiennes, and it's a word he invented himself, and people are not quite sure whether it's related to gnosis, as in knowing, or like knossos, because a lot of all these amazing Minoan things were being excavated around that time, and that could have been an inspiration for him to write that, like a kind of dance related to the Minotaur and the labyrinth, perhaps. We don't know. I prefer the second explanation myself because it sounds cool. And he was a pretty interesting chap. He was quite eccentric, and like invented his own religion of Jesus the composer and various things like this. He had 2 grand pianos stacked on top of each other in his house, and he would recompose on one and keep all his letters in the other one. And he was forever buying umbrellas. Every time he went out, he would buy a new umbrella because he'd forgotten one, and he just had a whole room full of umbrellas. And yeah, he was friends with Debussy and Ravel and with the Dadaists. He was quite revolutionary, even though when he was studying he was like the laziest student there, which I kind of like. I'm being lazy and talking instead of playing, so I appreciate lazy people. And yeah, his music is very, very atmospheric. Like later on, at the end of his life, he was composing things that he called furniture music, which was kind of a precursor to like ambient music. So it's very atmospheric and sort of rejecting the normal heroic, melodramatic, Wagnerian kind of music of the time, so which gives it a sort of more modern feel. Anyway, how about I just play it and then talk about how to learn this cool piece. Erik Satie's Gnossienne number 3. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting song, like the way the melody works over the harmony. Like he does this interesting thing where he'll use a minor chord and then play instead of, like, he starts in A minor. So we start with an A and then there's a second inversion, A at the top, C, E, A. And so you think it's going to be an A and have a normal A minor kind of melody with mostly white notes, except maybe the G sharp every now and again. But instead he's written the melody in, it's like E minor, E harmonic minor. So it's an A, D sharp, F sharp, which has the same sharps as in E harmonic minor, and so it goes down, and it sounds really cool. I think it's kind of unexpected, but I guess E is the fifth of A, so it's related, and he must have thought, well, if I can play a melody in A minor, how would a melody in E harmonic minor sound? And it sounds fantastic, I think. And he sort of uses this idea a few times, like at the bottom of page 1, he changes to, he sort of it's transposed to E minor, and instead of staying in the E harmonic minor sort of melody, now he's doing, it's kind of like in D. And then later on, when he starts playing, and he will do like a B harmonic minor sort of melody as well. B harmonic minor is the fifth of E, but it sounds wonderful and creepy and lovely. There's one little other interesting harmonic thing that I would like to point out, just because it's interesting and very modern. He's done this chromatic median, which sounds wonderful, and I think he's the first person I've heard who's done that, because it was probably considered not the done thing because it sounds wacky, but the bit where it goes from A, lots of nice A minor chords, and then it goes to F minor. The thing about chromatic medians is they're chords that are only related by, they're a third apart, and they have one note in common. So at A minor, you would expect it to easily go to a C, or A minor can go to an F. They have two notes in common, and there's sort of a diatonic chords that go with A minor. But if you instead go from an A minor to a C sharp minor, it sounds crazy. Or instead of from going from an A minor to an F major, you go from an A minor to an F minor. It kind of changes the whole mood in a bit of a, oh, what just happened then kind of a way. And it's often used in soundtracks to interesting effect. Like if you listen to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, I can't remember if it's the beginning of the second one, or there's a bit where Galadriel is talking about the history of the elves, and I think it's there, and they've got this cycle between some like chromatic medium things, and need to take the ring, and there's something wonderful about them. But yeah, this is the sort of first one I've seen. If anyone sees another chromatic medium in a piece written before 1900, I'd be very interested to hear about it. So, yeah, I guess the main challenge in this piece is the leaping up and down for the bass notes in the left hand. So it's probably good to start just practicing the left hand. You can learn some interesting chords while you're at it. So it's always I think it's always the root note of the chord. It's at the bottom as far as I can recall. It starts with an A, and then but at the top we've got first inversion, C, E, A, crescendos and diminuendos here and there. So it's largely up to you. I like the way he often gives you a really nice word to describe how to play it, like painfully or something. Avec conviction et avec une tristesse rigoureuse, with conviction and a rigorous sadness. Like that's one of the other Gnossiennes. Lent et douloureux, slow and miserable. One of the Gnossiennes says avec étonnement, with astonishment, and that's the one previous to this one. So I don't know. I like to think maybe one should play it with still a little bit of astonishment, because it is a little astonishing. But it just says slow and quiet. So yeah, I guess the first thing I would suggest is practice all of those chords. And then work out the melody, which is fairly simple. Once you remember that the second chord has the 2 beats, then the melody really slots in very nicely, because it's all quavers. So make sure you remember to give them their full 2 beats. My edition here has got the bar lines in it, but apparently he didn't actually write the bar lines in the original edition, because he was a bit of a rebel, and it was like a free music, but it has kind of settled into like the bar lines do fit nicely in there, but if you wanted to be a real purist, you could ignore them and put the stress where you want to put it, I suppose. But I think it does sound good the way it's written. I will attach a copy of this to the video. Cool. So yeah, good luck practicing. enjoy the wonderful atmospheric dissonances. And there aren't too many difficulties with the fingering in the right hand, I don't think. A couple of bits like at this, it doesn't have bar numbers, but the first appearance of the G sharp, gotta make sure you want to put the 2 on that, make sure you have your 2 on the G sharp and then 1 on the A. Once you've got that, your thumb on that A, then you can get up to the F later on, so that's useful. I'll put a 2 on the A sharp. Sight reading, I just make up fingering. And you want to make sure you get the thumb on the G at the bottom of the page. And 2 on the F sharp. So yeah, I guess 5, 2, 4, and then you can do 3. So make sure you get your 4 on that C sharp. And on the second page, when the melody goes up and down, you just got to make sure you've got your thumbs in the right place. So thumb on E, and then thumb on B. So all through that it's a 1 on E, 1 on B, 1 on B, and then over with your 4. It's fun the way it swishes you around. Oh dear. I've run out of time. I'm sorry, I'll have to finish it.